Hey friends, welcome back to Oso Farm. Today I am printing for our upcoming homeschool year that we are starting. We have a countdown going. I think it's 9 days. It's a week from Monday. So this is kind of a crazy time. We decided to start on July 24th because last year, for the first time, we took all of December off, and we school the same amount of time as anybody else. We just, because we homeschool, get to play around with our schedule. So to make that work, and then also to accommodate some other things we have going in the year, like my son's graduation from boot camp and things like that, we are going to go ahead and start. Come here. Oh, what makes this interesting is, can you say hi, Danny? My daughter Emma, that y'all have been praying for. Emma, mommy. She is, and her mommy and daddy, they have moved into a new city in Houston, I cannot even talk. See, when I have this little one here, this is why doing things with Danny is a joy, but my brain doesn't work as well. So I'm gonna put you down, okay? Go show Bobo your toys. So we have Danny and Thomas, our two grandsons, here for 8 days. They are moving across Texas. My son-in-law Christopher got a new job that they're really excited about. So we are keeping the boys this week while they move. And it's my last week to prep for school. So I have gotten almost all of our lesson plans typed up. We loosely use it's not even a curriculum, a website called Ambleside Online that follows a Charlotte Mason education model, and it's mainly like a book list and schedules. So I use books that we already have to kind of fill in the gaps, and then I purchase some of their recommended books. So I go week by week and type out my lesson plan. So what I'm doing now, Danny was watching a movie and Evan was busy playing in the girls' room, and Thomas is taking a nap, was gonna do this tedious task of printing. So my, in homeschool you combine some subjects. So my junior and sophomore are going to be doing an astronomy course for one of their science credits. And so I've had 3 kids go through this, and so I'm just printing out all of the worksheets. I have like a dinosaur printer that takes forever. So I'm just standing here and doing this. While I was doing that, I like to watch little videos or listen to podcasts. But I just had my 45th birthday, and my husband bought me some things to hopefully help filming go easier. And what I'm using right now is an attachment to my phone, and it's an app, and I'm going to describe it horribly. He's already like staring at me weird. It's called a gimbal.
Yeah, it's not an app. It's like a little selfie stick.
It's a selfie stick, but it has an app that I'm using. So what's cool is it focuses on whatever face you want it to track, and then you can move, and it like no one's filming, it follows your face. So the thought was, when I was in the kitchen, we have a very small kitchen, and it's hard for me to know where to put the camera, and then when I'm just trying to get something done, I oftentimes will choose not to film because I just want to get the meal done rather than stopping the camera, resetting the camera. So hopefully this will help. I can set it in a spot, and then it'll track me around the kitchen. So I'm still getting used to it, but it is funny how when I move, it follows me. So kind of a fun new little toy. And then y'all have seen, she is so sweet, but she drives me crazy when I'm trying to do things like this, because she wants to be right near me, and she wants to like scratch her face all over these papers, and then she eats the papers that come out of the printer if I walk away, like plays with it. She thinks that it's like alive because it's coming out. So this is where if I lock her up, which I don't, but like if I put her away somewhere, it's usually in this laundry room, and that's where I am. So I'm feeling that crunch time of getting things done, and I'm trying to motivate myself to remember that whatever I prepare now is going to be worth the effort later. So what I like to do, because 3 of my 4 kids that I'll be homeschooling next year are independent learners because they're in high school. If I have everything prepared and written out and printed and planned for them, there's no reason, even if life gets crazy for us as a family, that they can't open up my lesson plans and understand it and make sense if I have it all organized. So I'm trying to motivate myself to push through, because it will mean a lot to me in the coming weeks when everything is planned and organized. So I'm going to print this, and Tommy should be waking up, so we'll get him up. I had mentioned in a past vlog that I bought a quarter of a cow, and when we were cleaning out our freezers, I found like 2 or 3 pieces of beef that we bought from Sam's. So I'm trying to use those up before we have dug into the cow a little bit, but before we get too far into using that up. So tonight I set out some flank steak, and we're gonna make like a Philly cheesesteak on tortillas though. So another thing I want to get done this weekend, today is Saturday, is I have not written out a a meal plan for July. And one reason is because my calendar ended in June, the one that I've shown y'all before in my kitchen, write it all out. And I just got one in the mail, and then we went to the homeschool conference. It was just busy. But I've talked about this before, decision fatigue is a real thing, and it really drives me crazy to not have a plan on what we're eating, and to every day have to make these small decisions that end up feeling big at the end of the day. Like, what are we gonna eat for lunch? What are we gonna eat for dinner? And especially moving into the new school year, I wanna have the last 2 weeks of July planned out, because when we hop into school, I'm not gonna be able to have time to like be creative, and I have time to prepare a meal, but not so much think of what to prepare. So today we had a busy morning. Bryan can insert some pictures. We did our first rooster harvest. Danny is turning on the washing machine. Danny, go see Bobo. Go see Bobo. Bryan, Danny's starting the dryer. Okay, so remember what I was saying. Oh, rooster harvest, and that was a big project that we were getting done, and so Danny, come here. Anyways, I'm gonna get busy printing this and then filing it. When I get back into the dining room, I'll show you my filing system that I've used for a couple of years, and link the video inspiration that I got that from years ago. Come here. You want to say hi to your friends? Hi, friends. Okay. Tommy. Evie. Zeke. Zeke. I like you saying that. Eli. Isaiah. Lizzie. Coleman. Where's Coleman? Coleman. Evan, look at the word. Esme. Whose name is that? Evan. Everett. Good job. You want to do it to me?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to do it to me? Let me do it again. Mom. Where's Mom? Where's your mom? Okay, Mom. Dad. Where's Dad? Emma. this going to be really weird looking?
No. Okay. Hey Isaiah, I got your buddy here. All right, hey Rooster, so what do you think about your first harvest?
Incredible.
Hey, Tom Tom. Hi, Tom Tom. What are you doing, guys? Get that one. Show Bobo how that works. Bobo, look, I figured this out. He crawled all the way over here.
Let's pull that bucket down.
It's pretty heavy. Bryan just went and got a fresh haircut down at the corner.
What do you think?
In the country haircut.
What is that supposed to mean?
No, it looks
Did I
good.
do it myself?
Okay, so what are you making for us?
I'm gonna make, oh my gosh, I just went blank.
Philly.
Philadelphia cheesesteak sandwiches.
Okay.
So we're using flank steak. I've already cut it into thin slices. I am sauteing some onions, peppers. I'm gonna add some of these dehydrated mushrooms that Brandy did the other day. Have y'all seen that? And then I'm thinking that the mushrooms will resaturate. What is that called? Rehydrate. Dehydrate, rehydrate.
So
But,
what you're just gonna do this and then take those off and add the meat?
Yeah, so we're just sauteing these until they get pretty. And then we'll take them off and add the meat.
And we're gonna toast the buns and everything.
Yeah, it's gonna look good. Are they still frozen?
A little bit, just barely. By the time you, like just barely at the bottom, by the time we get the meat on there, they'll be unthawed. And then I'm gonna keep one in here for leftovers. We don't wanna go ahead and toast it, right? You wanna make it fresh tomorrow? So I was just telling him that I feel like this is my gluten-free hoagie roll. That gluten-free people must not be as hungry because everything is so small in comparison. Like my sandwich bread is like that big. So just a observation, because I would like my roll to be this big. But then I don't want to eat 2 rolls because this roll is like $2.50 a piece because it's gluten-free. So dilemma.
Tough love.
Yeah. Okay, it feels like a huge victory that we have made it to 7 o'clock. We got the boys all bathed up and ready for bed. They did not sleep well last night and were up by 6 this morning, so it was a very long day, and it is so hot, so no one can go outside and get off that energy. So it was so crazy. So this right here is a paint by number that my daughter Evelyn spent hours on, isn't it lovely, and gave me for my birthday. So I'm gonna try to find a place for it here in our dining room learning homeschool area. So I did get the last of that book printed. It took me all day because it was like I would print a page, go and check on someone, print a page, go and do something, but it's all done. So tomorrow all I have to do is add it to my file system. So let me show you that. When I go through at the beginning of the year, if there's any printouts for what we're doing that scheduled week, I go ahead and print them out. And then each week I can just pull out 1 week's folder. And I've used these colored folders for a long time. So like we used to do Tapestry of Grace, and so I would have like grammar stage, dialectic, and rhetoric, the different learning levels. And now the gathering is things that we do together, sort of like if you're familiar with homeschooling, like a morning time or a group time. So anything that we're doing together, like I have some logic puzzles that we're gonna do together, and then if there's any subjects that we're learning together, and the printouts will go in here. And then the orange one says Evan and Ezra. Obviously, you know, these are a few years old because our sweet Ezra passed away a few years ago, but I didn't have the heart to not use this, but it still makes me just hurts my heart to see it every time. But I wanted to still just use it. It's just a reminder of him. So what I do now is anything that is printed for that week for Evan, I put in here. And then this was last year's, so it said year 9. We did 2 learning levels of Ambleside. We did year 9 and year 11. So this year we're gonna do year 10 and year 12. So I'll just mark that out and do that. And then anything that's specific to Everett and Esme will go in here, and then I just have Lizzie doing year 12. So all of their tests and everything that I don't want to give them at the beginning of each week will go in here, and then it's just easy for me to find when they finish their work. I have a turn-in folder that they turn it into if it's not in like a notebook. And I actually still have papers to grade from the end of the last school year. That is me just being transparent. So I need to finish that prior to us starting school and get their transcripts updated. So when week 1 is done, I just put it in the back, and then it's really encouraging to know that when we get through, we are done. And what this also does is it allows the kids to know where everything is. So if I'm sick or someone is in the hospital or life gets crazy, they know that everything they need for week 5 is already here and ready for them. So I'm pretty sure her name is Christy Clover, and she put out a video about this system years ago where she would even like cut up workbooks and put them in here. If I can find that video, I will link it below, but that's where I got this inspiration from years and years and years ago. Okay, so I worked on this all last week. So we have 2 sets of bookshelves in our dining room this is only the books that we're reading this current year. We store all of our books that we're not reading this year from previous years and other readers in our office space. So until I kind of memorize where everything is, I have these marked, and then this, you can kind of see it still says year 11, so this will say year 12, so Lizzie knows that some of her science books and government and worldview and literature will be on here. Her history is here. And then same for Everett and Esme. So if they are on this shelf, it means that I have written out the plan. So like here is year 10's history. These are some of the documentaries and movies we're gonna watch, and then every single book for each week has been planned. So I wanted to give you an example of this is what a week looked like in my lesson planner. So what I would do is I would sit down prior to week 1 and then divide that by days, because all of this is things that they need to read for history. So it's like 5 or 6 chapters. So I would go through here on history and divide that out. And then down here there was like color coding things, but then this helps me so much. And then they have an individual planner. So like year 9 and Everett, he would know that he needs to sit down and everything that is orange and this teal color he needs to write in his planner, and that's what he is responsible for. So this was my last year's planner, and then my new one just came in the mail. It's kind of daunting that the whole thing is blank, but it's exciting to know that in just a few weeks, actually in 1 week, this week I will be writing out week 1 in here. And now what I do, because life does happen, is I have this planned out for the whole year, but I only write this detailed lesson plan by day at the end of every week. So once a week I write this out. And that's because if we have a hard week, say everybody gets the flu, and we only get to read this 1 chapter here, what I do is after I plan it, I highlight it. And so then if we got to week 2, I would be like, okay, are we, if it's like a literature type book, like Arguing Against Slavery and things like In Gods and Generals, those build upon each other. So then I would say, okay, now for the history of the US, we now have 3 chapters to read. We're going to span that out over 2 weeks. So we're never behind. It just means we just push it to the next week. So this really, really, really helps me. So printing, this is the stack that I printed from their astronomy course. Now I've got to divide it into 2 piles, and then it has a schedule in here, and then get it divided in here. So that's going to be my task tomorrow. And then I need to tidy up these extra shelves. These are like reference books, and then some of our missionary read alouds. We did not get to these last year, and so I'm gonna go through and select some of these, and then like our Latin and some geography. So I just need to go through here and straighten those up. A few of y'all have talked about how you really love watching Evan's progress, and so my sister Jennifer just asked me within the last week or 2, what are your plans, what are your goals and hopes for Evan this next year? And so what I want is just to see progress. I listened to a podcast years ago that was really inspiring to me that says, don't make your goals for your kids like, my child will memorize the multiplication tables by Christmas. Because you really have no control over your child's ability or willingness to master those. And so that can be really frustrating, I'm trying to get better lighting, and frustrating for the child when if you go over their goals with them and then they don't meet those goals. So a better way to phrase that would be, my child is going to work on math facts for 10 minutes a day, 3 days a week. And that's an attainable goal. And then your child will achieve the math facts that they're capable of, that they're determined to, and the goal is attainable. But you can't say, like, I can't give Evan a goal of Evan is going to be reading and Evan is going to count to 20 by the end of this next school year. Those are good things that I would like for him to be able to do, But all I can do is say Evan is going to work on math and counting every day during school or something like that. So the tricky part too with teaching Evan phonics and reading skills is that his language is so delayed. So he absolutely in his mind, and he is speaking, it's just not clear. So it's hard for us to know what he is saying. So he does get speech therapy twice a week, and he does do signing, and he does mimic every sound that we make, but he can't necessarily sound out a word that anybody else would recognize. So that's the tricky part of trying to really understand what does he actually know. So I was reading a lot about teaching kids with Down syndrome how to read, and I absolutely believe that Evan will be literate. I have no doubt. It may take us a while. So I found a program called So Happy to Learn, and this teacher has a lot of experience, and it's created specifically for teaching children with Down syndrome and adults people with Down syndrome how to read. And so it was a little bit of an investment. It was a couple $100 to subscribe to her website, where you got access to all her teaching videos and downloadable products. But I've been really excited now that I have it, and so that's something else I'm going to be finishing up this week. So here are some of the printables that I made for him. These different books that she has, and they're very simple, big colors, and basically you model reading. So I, with a pointer, would say the word book, and then hand him the pointer, and he would say the word book. And now he will copy what I say, and so we'll go through these. This is like the beginner stage. I bought this, it just came out of the box. This binding machine to keep these together, but I just realized that I can't put it together yet because I didn't get like the clear cover to put on front, and so I want to order that. I'll probably just order it on Amazon and get these made for him so that we can start school. One thing that she suggested were putting all of the names of your immediate family on index cards, and then I wrote in pencil on the back, so that way when I lift this up and hold it directly at his eyesight, I can see on the back what it says. And so he has really loved going through these cards. We've done it a couple times a day since I made these, and it's so cute because he actually like wants to point to the person as we say them. So it's been really, really sweet, and he's very, very, very proud to have these cards. So we will master these where he can identify these, and if I say, show me Emma, he'll point to Emma. So this has been really exciting to just see that he actually wants and has a desire to learn that. I also bought him this, I have a big pocket chart, these pocket chart cards. I can link this below, and so I thought this would be something we could kind of do the same thing with, and it was all really, they're big, bright, and colorful. I thought that would be a fun thing for him. Okay, so I think Evan is the only one that's not asleep. He's in there with Bryan. So I'm gonna go and take a shower and rest. I have this, part of me has a desire to just sit here and work on this, but I know I need some space from this, and I'll be able to work harder tomorrow having taken a break from it. But I just want to encourage you that if you are a homeschooling mom, definitely take time this summer to rest and kind of regroup from the past year. I think it's really beneficial to really think about and pray about your wins from the past year and things you could have done better or things that you wished had gone better, and kind of talk that out with the Lord and get new ideas and new inspiration for the following year. And remember that years are, I don't know how to say it, like each year is a unique year and a different year, so don't be discouraged based on what happened in the past. So that's what I'm trying to kind of wrap my brain around and focus on for the upcoming school year, is that it's a fresh start for them and for me and for Evan, and so we're looking forward to it. We have nine days, Esme, is that right? 9 days. So I hope y'all had a great day, and thanks for being here. We will see you in a couple days with another video. Bye-bye.